Here I am at the car park at Bolton Abbey. Just parked up. Good journey from Gargrave. And well, my plan for this morning and the early part of this afternoon was to not really walk around the Bolton Abbey Estate, but to walk up a feature called the Valley of Desolation, and then head up, if I can, make an ascent to one of the higher fells, maybe get as far as a top called Simon's Seat, or at least get some way towards it. But I'm just sitting here at the moment, just looking at the weather, and I'll show you what it's like at the moment. So sitting in the car park, it's sunny, but the snow is coming down, so I'll have to just be careful, and I'm not sure how much filming I'll be able to do, because I don't want to get the camera wet, so or indeed iced up. So we'll see. But I'm going to put all the right gear on. All day rain pants, gaiters, boots of course, hat, gloves, etc. Got plenty of coffee, got plenty of food, and well, I mean, it's still a nice enough day. It's only 2 degrees, so it's cold, but it should. The forecast says it will improve after about 10 o'clock, and it's about 9:30 now. We will see. The snow has stopped, which is good, and it's making everywhere look absolutely superb. And this is the Cavendish Pavilion, so there are lavatories here and cafe and so on. And so it's lovely to get some sunshine, and it's still quite cold, but we'll have a little look at the map on here and see where we're going to go. So we're going to cross over the bridge and then head towards the Valley of Desolation, and we'll just see how far we get. I've been here once before, and I found it ever so busy and ever so frustrating walking along the river, because it was lots and lots of people and it was quite slow going. So there we go, Simon's Seat via the Valley of Desolation, and we've refound the River Wharfe. So it tells me Simon's Seat is 3.3 miles. Obviously we'll see if we can manage it. It's not a race, and I'm just here to enjoy myself. Good steep climb up from the wharf, and just checking the sign here. I'm going the right way, I believe. Wonderful area of moor. So this is Barden Moor and Barden Fell, and it looks absolutely stunning. The sheep are watching, as though to say, what on earth are you doing wandering about in this? Why don't you keep yourself nice and warm, sit down by the fire, watch a bit of the old daytime TV. But once you start doing that, I think you just get into that habit, and there you go. I met somebody just down by the wharf and they said the thing to do is keep moving. Whatever you do, keep moving. Which is not bad, probably not bad advice. Well, I know I'm heading in roughly the right direction because I've come up part of the valley, and here is the waterfall, and I'll have to check my map to find out what the name is. Very peaceful walk so far. Walked about a mile, and just been accompanied by curlew and lots of pheasants and some jays. I imagine the path heads up this way. The snow means the bit of the path that's a bit rocky and a bit gravelly is sort of covered up, so it's hard to make out the path from the areas that are just covered, which is just grass covered with snow and ice. I've certainly got warm climbing up here. I don't know how much of an ascent I've done so far, but a decent climb. It's got me nice and warm anyway. There we go. So this looks promising. Famous last words. This looks promising. So this is all called the Valley of Desolation, which makes it sound like something out of Pilgrim's Progress. And I guess on a grey, wet day, it would seem very desolate, but I think it's absolutely superb. I'd call it the well, why do you need to call it anything really, but if you're going to call it something, you'd call it the Valley of Tranquility or the Valley of Solitude. Very, very peaceful, absolutely stunning countryside, and quite almost, I suppose, gothic, with these the trees with the picked out with ice and snow. Absolutely wonderful. Thoroughly enjoying this. And here's the footbridge. Now the footbridge was marked to my map, so I'm confident that this is correct. And it looks like I'm going to be the first one over here today, because nobody else has put a boot print in here. I've left my mark on there, I'm afraid. Now I've emerged from the tree line above the Valley of Desolation, so come out of the trees now, and just got to this gate that leads out onto Barden Moor to my left, or behind me, and then the Barden Fells are over to my right, or just ahead of me. So apart from the odd pheasant to keep me company, I'm going to try and make my way up the hill, just see how far I get. So it's clearly marked as pedestrian access only, no dogs allowed, and I should think that's because there might be sheep and lambs up here. That's possible, I can't see any at the moment, but certainly it looks like an area for probably grouse and pheasant shooting, that sort of thing. So there'll be lots of ground nesting birds, at least at the right time. Well, I suppose any time now really. So it's the 31st of March today, and we've had in March this peculiar heat wave, which was sort of last week and the beginning of this week. And then the last couple of days it's been a return to normal really. Normal end of March, beginning of April weather, so quite cold, sleet and snow. It's about what you'd expect. But yeah, that looks quite a good climb up ahead, and I'm just going to see how far I get. If I get to Simon's Seat, that's fine, but I will judge it. I'll go as far as I want to, because I know that I've obviously got to return, and I need to leave sufficient time to get back to the car park before the car park closes. It'd be quite nice to get down there in time to relax a little bit and have a cup of tea at the cafe. So I'll see how far I go. The wind is getting up now. I'll put the camera away for a little bit and concentrate on my walking. Pretty well exactly 11 o'clock, or just gone 11 o'clock, and I found a little short dip in the path where it was lovely and sheltered from a fairly cold northeasterly wind, and this is a nice little spot just for a cup of coffee and something to eat. So I'm just sitting on the side here, and just on the side of this brook, or this beck as it comes down. So I've walked down the path there, and the beck is flowing down from Barden Moor, and I'm heading up that way. So this is a lovely spot just for 5 minutes or so. Get my breath back, have a cup of coffee and a bite to eat. Fantastic. Just paused to check the map and look back on where I've walked up. It's been a good, steady, very steep climb up to this point, and then there's a path heads off one way here, and I wanted to just to check the map, and I need to carry on a little bit further, ideally carry on a little bit further. I've walked exactly 3 miles now. My GPS has just alerted me to the fact I've walked 3 miles since the beginning, and Simon's Seat's about, well, according to the directions, is about 3 miles and a third, something like that. So I've got a little bit further to go, and I can see the tree line in the centre there, which is the end of the Valley of Desolation, and that's about a mile and a bit from where I am now. So it's still absolutely stunning. I'm being watched by a grouse. He's just landed on that sort of hillock there, making a few protesting sounds, and he's just watching me. So there'll be quite a lot of wind noise, but we're just approaching, or I'm just approaching Simon's Seat. I missed the turn, I think. Well, I did miss the turn. I went a bit further than I needed to and had to turn around and come back. I'd underestimated how far I'd walked, so I missed my right turn. But there's you come up from the main path. You have to strike up past this little set of rocks here, and then Simon's Seat is just on the horizon. And I think over here you've got some other formations. I think one's called Lord's Seat, and then there's some other rocks called the Hens Rocks, or the Hens teeth, something like that. But anyway, Simon's Seat directly ahead, and you've just got to pick your way over this sort of peaty, slightly boggy path, but not too bad. So made it to the top of Simon's Seat. Good views. It's quite a sheer drop down the side there on one side, but good views looking north. And I'm going to see if I can get up towards the trig point, but I'm going to be, there's the trig point there. I'm going to be careful though. So up to the trig point, I'm going to climber up that final bit because it's a bit slippery, it's a bit steep, a bit of a hump up there, but I'll there we go. I'm touching the trig point just about. Yeah, so fantastic views across on Simon's Seat, and looking this way, I suppose looking north, there's the settlements of the Wharfedale, Wharfe Valley. I'm not sure, but there'll be Barton Bridge and I think it's Burnsall Bridge down there. There's a reservoir, I don't know what that is. And then we're looking across towards where we've been the last 2 or 3 days, I suppose, looking towards the part of the Yorkshire Dales, which will include sort of Malham and Ingleborough and Pennygent and so on. So it's looking northwest that way. It's lovely to see the snow up at the top, and then round this way, looking, I suppose, west. There's a reservoir, and can't see Skipton. Skipton must be sort of over one of these hills here and down, sort of down the valley. But a good panorama. So like all these climbs, it's been a good climb up here, but well worth it. Well worth it for the views, and it's very, very clear down there. Looking north through Wharfedale. Little bits of snow and ice here and there, but generally pretty good. And tiny wee settlements isolated down there. So I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the camera away and get down on the southern side of these rocks and find somewhere where I can have a rest, have a cup of coffee and something more to eat, and then it'll be the descent. I think it's probably about midday, perhaps it's just a bit after midday. I'll check the watch in a moment or two. So a decent climb, and even got a bit of sunshine now. I think I just got back in time. It's it's snowing hard again, so I just about made it back to the car. It was absolutely lovely coming back from Simon's Seat. A really good walk back. Didn't do any filming on the way back because you've seen it already. But a good and fairly rapid walk back because it's downhill all the way. And just got my things back to the car and took my boots off and spruced myself up, and I've come in for a cup of tea. And I'm very much looking forward to that, so I can just relax for a while, and the ham and cheese toastie is on its way.